Asalaamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Hope you guys are well, inshallah. Welcome to this video. Now we're going to be discussing a very disturbing topic, as you guys saw on the title. We're going to be talking about a man called Reynhard Sinaga. So this is an Indonesian man, born of a Christian family, raised in a Christian uphold, and he went to the church, was somebody that was involved in the church deeply, would be somebody that reads the Bible. Now you're going to be thinking, why are you telling us about his faith? Well, there's a few reasons why I'm telling you guys about his faith. Number one, this man has raped about 196 men. Yeah, you heard it. When we hear the word rape, it's usually a synonym to, kind of woman, women get raped, But in this case, it's men. He's actually raped 196 men, God knows for how long. He would be studying in Indonesia. He decided to come to Manchester, and what he did and the way he preyed on his victims is that he would find men in Manchester who are drunk, half drunk. I doubt they're tipsy, but they're in that verge of being drunk. He will get them to go to his house. Now, as a man, that is a bit weird. You're drunk, you still have some of your faculties there, but you can clearly see that he took advantage of them. He took them to his house and said to them, look, you can sleep here, until you wake up. And then he would give them a special formula. Yeah? He would give them this special formula that they would drink and they would literally pass out. Yeah? And from there onwards, he does whatever he wants to them. Literally whatever he wants to them. And what's really crazy is that when he was being trialed, he said that, because how they found out about this was that they went to his flat and they found a bunch of phones, and in these phones they saw him actually video recording it from different angles, and not even one angle. He's recorded from different angles to them, and he said to his mother, his own mother, that this was like some kind of a documentary for him. Yeah, and it just shows you how sickening and how disgusting you must be, to actually do this. Now, how did he get caught? Here's a little video footage of what happened and how he ended up getting caught in 2007. So as you guys saw in that video, his last victim, a young man, if I'm not mistaken, 17-year-old, woke up and sparked this guy, if I'm not mistaken, yeah? So literally smashed his face up, yeah? Like blood everywhere, and apparently when his mum saw him, and his mum was outraged because of what happened to him. Like, what the hell was you expecting to happen? How could somebody, she was saying, he was unmatched in the fight, a big white man was beating up this little, miskeen, come on. Now, let's go back to the first point that I mentioned. 196 men being raped. Just imagine if that was a Muslim raping a bunch of women or men or whatever you want to call it. Now, what is more crazy is that the LGBTQ and all the alphabets that may follow community has said something outrageous. Just imagine as Muslims if we was to say something like this, yeah? This is what they said. They said the following, I quote, Sinaga did not say so, but one factor may have been his country's attitude towards homosexuality. As recently as 2014, the northern province of Aceh passed a law to punish anyone caught having gay sex with 100 lashes. So what this community is saying is the following. If where he lived, Indonesia, did not have this punishment of 100 lashes to homosexuals, yeah? Or, someone committing sex outside of marriage, yeah? Or just two single people committing zina. This man would have not done that. Now this guy, this evil perpetrator who has raped 196 men, recorded it, filmed it, in court says that they were, you know what he said? He said they were playing a part. They were pretending to be asleep. They were pretending, it was an act. They were pretending to be asleep while I was raping them, and they're just ashamed of it. You know, they loved what I was doing to them. Yeah, and some of his victims, men, tried to commit suicide. This is, imagine as a man being violated in that way. You wouldn't want to live. You would not want to be alive. It's disgusting. So we need to firstly highlight that these things happen to men as well. You know, because sometimes it's always, you know, women will, no, these things happen to men as well. Imagine you have a Muslim man. A Muslim man goes and rapes a bunch of women or whatever it may be. Yeah? Or imagine the grooming issue that has been happening. Yeah? This is a devout Christian man, by the way. Those Muslim men who were doing this were not devout. They were not devout. They were living the Western lifestyle of clubbing, drinking, partying, bringing these girls, giving them drugs, etc. Imagine if I came and said, we think as the Muslim community, the reason why these men have groomed these innocent young girls, the reason they've done it is because in their country, in Afghanistan or Pakistan or whatever country you want to, there's punishment for adultery. You know, and we think that's the reason why they raped this many girls. Can you imagine the uproar? Can you imagine what will happen if I personally said that I'm finished? Janaza, yeah, night, boom, I'm gone, I'm finished. But the LGBT community can casually just come and say, oh, he's, you know, he make him a victim and be like, you know, the reason why he did that was because there's 100 lashes for homosexuals in Indonesia. Well, those 100 lashes would be implemented on this man or more for raping men who are drunk and taking advantage of them. You see, that's the reason why, brothers and sisters, in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated a certain law to protect the rights of the community as a whole, rather than an individual by himself. The reason why, for example, these men were drunk, I'm not going to blame them. Obviously, if you wasn't drunk, you would not be in that situation. You know, you would have fight him off somehow. But it shows you the Sharia, the Islamic law that's in place. It's there to protect the community as a whole. Prevention is better than cure. And we see this over and over again. Every 90 seconds in the Western world, a woman is subject to some kind of a rape. Catcalling. Being treated like degraded animals. One night stands. I was reading some kind of a study showing that some women are suicidal, that they meet a man, they want to be with him and spend, you know, their life with him, and he just wants one night stands. Yeah? We live in a corrupt society, and this is now slowly coming to the Muslim community. Now these things relate to each other, brothers and sisters. Islam has come to protect the community as a whole. And that's the reason why certain punishments are there as a deterrent. Because Islam has come to preserve 5 things. The wealth, the health, the lineage, the religion, and one more thing that I can't remember. And yeah, another thing that I can't remember. It's come to protect those 5 things. Yeah? That's the reason why and the honor, I think. Yeah, the honor. That's the reason why there's severe punishments on these topics. Yeah? So when it's come for the lineage, the punishment of stoning. Why? Because it's there to protect the family unit. It's a deterrent. It's so harsh, it's a deterrent. You don't want to go there. Yeah? It's come to protect your wealth. Why? The person who steals, their hand will be amputated. Why? Because it's not just anyone. We're talking about in an Islamic society where it's established, everyone's living in a wealthy system, not corrupt people who are stealing the money. Once you're in that system and you're living in harmony and peace, you have no excuse to steal. And in that state, if you're stealing, then you're in trouble, and there's a whole condition besides that, etc. Yeah? And for example, to preserve the religion. That's why there is laws, for example, that if somebody leaves their religion, yes, there is some capital punishment. It's a similar thing to treason. Yeah, similar thing to treason, and there's a bigger discussion on it. Yeah, these things and the rest as well. There's severe punishments. Why? For example, the honor, slander. Why is slander got capital punishment? Why? Because it's the honor of a woman. That's why Surah Nur, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Surah Nur. Why? Because Aisha radiallahu anha was slandered. You know, so these things are in place to protect the community as a whole, and to stop men like him. That's why the article says Sinaga's convictions make him the most prolific rapist tried in Britain and possibly any court in the world. Except there was one other guy called Joji Obara, a Korean Japanese sex criminal, is thought to have raped between 150 and 400 women, but was only convicted of 9. Guys, it's a disgusting attack. We did not, nobody blamed this religion. Like the reason I mentioned this religion in the beginning was to just highlight the issue. If this was a Muslim man doing this, we would be blaming Islam and this and that. But right now, as you can see, what makes me it makes it more sickening and disgusting is that the far right choose and pick. You know, it's sad. It's like saying, you know what, I prefer to talk about this because I want to use it to my advantage and propaganda. This, I'll turn a blind eye. So they don't really have an issue with young girls being raped or being groomed, you know, or pedophiles doing certain things. Their issue is with the religion itself. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to come and say this is a Christian problem, even though we have every right to. We can say, you know what, hold on a second, these are devout men, priests, you know. We can say these are devoted men to their faiths, to Christ, that are carrying out these attacks. But we're still not going to do that because we believe that Christianity doesn't teach these things. So guys, I'm sure you guys were disturbed as much as I was, but we've learned a lot of things in this specific case, and we pray for their victims because it's disgusting. Some of them are suicidal, and we ask for them to be recovered mentally from this scenario, inshallah. And this man actually has no remorse. In prison, he had absolutely no remorse. What a disgusting man. That deserves a life sentence of 30 years, and inshallah he never comes out, and hopefully he turns back to his Lord. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks for forgiveness for his disgusting crimes. From me, your brother Ali Dawah, till next time, Asalaamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.